Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the BOCC statutory meeting. Today's date is Thursday, July 30th, and the time is 9:01 a.m. We will call this meeting to order. First up, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Miles, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will take attendance beginning with Mr. Hirsch.
Brendan Hirsch, County Attorney's Office.
Paula McFeeters.
Zach Swearingen.
Miles Lucero. Robert Choi, CAO.
And thank you to everybody else in attendance. Are there any modifications to today's agenda?
There are none.
I will ask for a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes, and that'll bring us into public comment. I have one person on the sheet, but as always, if somebody else would like to come up for public comment, just let me know. And that's Wendy.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'd first like to start out with a little information background that I've used as a life lesson. When I was a kid and we were at the state fair one year and I was at the carnival, I kept telling my dad, just give me some more money. I know I can win that pink teddy bear. And finally, my dad looked at me and he goes, I'm going to teach you something. And he said, you can't beat a man at his own game. And I have carried that lesson with me my whole life. It was his game, his money, and I was just the end user. And looking at that moving forward, in the early 80s, I worked for a construction company. We did interior tenant finish in commercial buildings. And at that time, the boom was the oil industry. And my boss at that time, who was in his 70s, came and these people would come in and they were, oh, we're in oil exploration. And he'd look at him and start laughing. And he'd go, well, when you have a suitcase full of $100 bills, come back and see me. Well, we experienced this a few years ago with the marijuana industry. You know, it was a quick, rich scream. Everybody was going to make lots of money. Now we have 7 properties within 4 miles of my house that are abandoned because of marijuana. And the current one is solar. Solar's big. Solar's been around for a while, but it's going to weed out the bad companies. And as I sat here Tuesday and listened to the plans for the solar company out at the jail, I heard red flags. Jose has presented some red flags to you. Even the construction manager that you had here that day presented a red flag. You may have a contract for 20 years with this corporation, but that contract's only as good as the paper it's written on. If they go out of business, where do you stand? What do you do? It's going to cost you a lot of money and attorneys, and these companies have far more attorneys, and you're the end user in that. Remember, it can't beat a man at his own game. So these are concerns that I have, and the county is now on a tipping point in a financial situation that every decision you make for the next 5 years, you're going to have to check, recheck, and check again because the finances are so close and they're so tight. So if there's red flags with the company, I mean, you have Jose. He's got his thumb on this industry. He's got awesome information and he's willing to share it with you for free. Let's listen to him and listen to what he's telling you. I mean, I walked away from consulting with a major solar corporation here because I caught them being untruthful. So I just want to share this with you to think about your decisions that you have coming. And if that company, I mean, they're running 80% of your jail. 80% is what I heard the other day of how much electricity is at the jail. Maybe it's a little less, but that's huge. So please consider these carefully.
Thank you, Wendy. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for public comment? Seeing none. Yeah, I mean, just real quick, Wendy, I mean, I think we did listen to Jose, I mean, to table it, but we appreciate that. And, you know, that's a big part of our job. Quite frankly, the biggest part of our job is listening to our constituency and listening to outside voices as well. So we appreciate that. And yeah, we try and do our due diligence as much as possible. And we appreciate when subject matter experts, maybe they weren't sitting at the table for the whole conversation or anything else, but you know, Jose can attest, we've had tons of conversations. I think everybody up on this board very much values his opinion and all of our constituents. And so we will adjust, and we have the ability to ebb and flow with different information. So I think we were able to execute that on Tuesday to table that item until, we're absolutely sure. So appreciate it. That'll bring us into our consent agenda, Mr. Hirsch.
Our first item, 3A, is a resolution continuing the authorization of a declaration of local disaster emergency regarding the Aspen Acres area fire.
Okay. Got a whole bunch here. I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That'll bring us into our regular agenda, Mr. Hirsch.
Okay, item 4A is a resolution approving the agreement for administration of scholarship funds between the Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation and Pueblo County. And Commissioner Lucero, I don't know if you want to speak on this. This was kind of something you asked me to put on the agenda.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to speak on this. So as the community is probably well aware, every year we collect an amount of marijuana excise tax revenue per the ballot measure that was passed. Oh, I'm going to get the year wrong, so I'm not going to say it. When the ballot measure was passed to collect those excise tax revenues, we said the language in the ballot measure said explicitly that at least 50% of those revenues would go to scholarships. So that's what we're accomplishing here. This board has determined that there's about conservatively $900,000 worth of marijuana excise tax revenue that we can expect for this year. We have made the decision as a board that the Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation will be the central fiscal agent for those dollars for this year. You may remember that we approved about $350-ish thousand in the form of a COSI match. COSI is a state level scholarship program where the county provides half and then the state kicks in half. So it's a direct match. And so today is approving the remainder of those funds for PHEF, Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation, in the amount of $504,221.10. And those go to Pueblo kids, I should say Pueblo
Years. Graduates.
Pueblo graduates, but we also expanded the criteria last year to allow for calling them non-traditional students to come and apply for those dollars as well. So anyone seeking those dollars can engage with PHEF. I want to say that PHEF has reported out that between 70 and 80% of those dollars that they give out stay right here in Pueblo. Those kids are going to school at either PCC or CSU Pueblo. So the vast majority of those dollars do stay right here in our local institutions. But there is opportunity for PHEF to distribute those $2 to kids going, whether it be up north, out of state. Those dollars do exist as well. Anything else, commissioners?
No, I think that was a pretty good explanation.
I do have something to add for the resolution. The second to last whereas clause, it contemplates a $502,221 amount. It should say $504,221. So county attorney's office will make that change. And then in the second to last, whereas in the agreement itself, it contemplates a 2026 year. It should say 26-27. So if approved, just please approve it with those amendments made.
Oh yeah, I'll just wait for you guys to change it before signing.
Cool.
Appreciate it. The only other thing that I real quickly would add is just, almost to your point, Wendy, and we've had this conversation up here before. That money is not what it once was. That marijuana excise tax dollars has affected not only education, but a lot of other projects that the county had been working on in the past. And when that money went down, it hurt a lot of different things. So it's good that obviously we're getting this squared away. I'm sure that we'll have future conversations and probably public work sessions with the entities in the future. But I think that this is where we are right now, and I think as good as we can get it. I will ask for a motion to approve item 4A.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Item 4B is a resolution approving the agreement between Crossroads Turning Point and Pueblo County Department of Human Services acting as fiscal agent for the Collaborative Management Program. We have Sabrina Miller here to present.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Sabrina Miller, Administrator of Child Welfare and Protective Services. I know that Mr. Lee Hodge had already presented the actual MOU for the collaborative management. I'm here to present the contract with Crossroads for the employees. The Collaborative Management Program came out of House Bill 1451. It is completely state-funded. This management board receives $210,000 from the state every year. In the last year, this program has helped 387 families consisting of over 1,000 youth that have been given collaborative services through House Bill 1451. This is an average of 77 families every year, or 77 families a month. Families were linked with mental health therapy, substance abuse treatment, domestic violence services, family programs, but I think the most beneficial that we've seen is in our court intervention programs. These employees that we employ through Crossroads work directly in our truancy and delinquency courts, and this money goes to help provide those services, provide hard goods for families to keep them out of the child welfare system, because we all know government overreach into families is not good for families. So I think another great thing about this program is all the partners it brings together. It brings all the both schools districts, the community college, the university, United Way, municipal court, our judicial program, Division of Youth Services, really anybody who has anything to do with youth come together under this collaborative management. And we just ask you that you approve this contract with Crossroads to provide the workers today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Do you see any potential for state to decrease this funding in the future?
I believe that would always be an option, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. You forgot to mention the most important part, that this requires no county match. This doesn't cost anything. You're supposed to lead with that. Come on.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Doesn't
No.
cost us money.
No, it does not.
Thank you, ma'am. We understand the value of this program and I'm fully supportive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it. I will ask for a motion to approve item 4B.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Okay, our last item, 4C, is a resolution authorizing dotted line reporting relationships within Pueblo County organizational structure. And we have our CAO here to give a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. The resolution before the board establishes a modern governance practice known as a dotted line reporting structure for the county. The board has had the foresight and the courage to begin installing management and financial controls that this county has needed for a long time. The resolution extends that discipline to how departments deliver your priorities, and it gives the county three things. Number one, dual accountability, which means that a named lead and a written scope for every initiative using taxpayer dollars. It supports better financial management, which means specialized oversight that protects against practices that in the past may have blurred the county's financial controls. And third, visibility. Each accountability is recorded on an organizational chart where you and any resident can see it. In Pueblo County, unemployment runs 5.6%, well above Colorado's 3.9%, and drivers lose 31 hours a year to congestion, costing approximately $827 annually to them. That is to say, residents who rely most on county services benefit first when we strengthen work practices and management controls. Further, the data is clear. When Harvard Business Review studied 95 cross-functional teams, they found that with strong governance behind it, work succeeds 76% of the time against 19% with only moderate governance support. And structure is that difference. Gallup ties this kind of written accountability to 22% lower turnover, 29% fewer safety incidents, and 10% higher productivity. What does not change is county elected offices, the C-suite's independent authorities, existing solid lines that are not planned for reorganization. And this is a cost-free measure that will help improve the county's operations. And I recommend the board adopt the resolution. Thank you.
Miles just said lead with the cost-free, right? Yeah, I think when this was brought to us, this is an excellent format of, what we tried to get away with historically in this reorg is centralized, not power to an extent, but just a block of information, a block of being able to collaborate with one another. I think that this is an excellent format to still maintain that accountability but to bring in another set of eyes, which is, I think, always good.
I agree, sir. And Mr. Choi, thank you for formalizing this and bringing it forward. I think we want to be clear about the resolution today establishes the framework for implementing this. We have not finalized which departments will dotted line reports to others. I think we have an idea, but that will come at a later resolution. What this establishes is the idea that certain departments will likely report directly to the BOCC, but there will be a dotted line reporting through the CAO's office and potentially other chief offices, just to, as Mr. Choi mentioned, keep the collaboration in mind. The role of the chief administrative officer is enterprise integration and keeping those lines of communication across all chiefs, across all departments. So I think this is a really nice framework and a really modern approach to how organizations can and should be run. And I think it's a big step in the right direction for the county.
I concur with that. Thank you, Mr. Choi, for stepping in to this role. You bring a lot of vast experience and knowledge in organizational management. And I just want to clarify, this change that we're making really primarily is under the BOCC. When we decided to do the reorg, it's our area and below that we're really reorging. Our other electeds are not necessarily being affected or impacted by the reorg, because that's our role in getting our budget together, getting all of the things together. We decided as the Board of County Commissioners that we need a new model of managing the county and those operations under us. And so really this is that first step towards that direction. We, of course, will provide more information as we do more of the reorg and we get more information about the dotted line reporting and direct reporting. But it's important for us, no matter what else is going on, to keep you informed of those incremental changes we're making to institutionalize change. And this is an important step in setting Pueblo County government up for the future. Whether we're in these seats or not, we're creating a structure that will work no matter who is in the Board of County Commissioners seats. And that's what we've desired to do. Coming into this role, giving a county government operation that operates with efficiency, with policy, and with strategic vision is something we've desired to implement since we got in here. And of course, in the last year and a half, we've seen many evidences for why this needs to happen. So I fully support it. There'll be more public presentations as we get deeper in for those that have questions. But as we go along, we just want you to understand we are changing things incrementally where we can, and we're evaluating. And so that takes time. We don't have a whole plan to give you today because we haven't gone through the entire process, but this is one important step in what does it mean to have a dotted line to our chief administrative officer, and how is he helping us not only with the C-suite, but with managing all of our departments. And I would say in the last 2 weeks has been extremely helpful to me. He's very, very talented at assimilating data and information and providing an analysis, which would take me probably a week to do. He can do in a very short amount of time. So thank you for that. That is a gift and a tool that we will continue to use as we analyze issues and problems at the county. And your analysis of this particular situation is very important to us moving forward. So I just wanted to say thank you. There's more to look for in the future. We are not done. This is one of many other steps that we'll be taking. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Well said.
Yeah, thank you both. I will ask for a motion to approve item 4C.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That will bring us into commissioner comments. I can go for, yeah, go.
Can I start?
It's gonna change it up.
Let me just say, as I saw the rain rolling off the mountains in the back of my home, I immediately was worried about the Beulah Valley and Rye. And of course, Tuesday evening, they suffered a lot of rain in Beulah and it flooded the Beulah Valley. I was in touch with friends. Last night was a repeat of that. And so I just wanted to extend to all of those in the Beulah area how frustrating it is to watch you survive a fire and then now have to endure floods that are there are just no words. I've seen the videos, I've talked to friends, I can just tell you from my seat, I ask this question, how much more do they have to go through? It's a very helpless thing to watch. And I was in touch with our undersheriff last night as she was headed up there. There was a lot of propane tanks floating around, just a lot of people trapped in their homes. It's a very helpless thing to watch when you have no control of the situation. And I just want to reiterate that as a county commissioner, no control of what we're watching and trying to figure out what do we do next to help. And our public safety folks, Beulah Fire, were very active last night trying to get things under control. I do want to read to you, our Public Works Department, who manages roads all over this county, do a great job. And I just wanted to just read a quick communication I had with Greg George, who's over our Public Works Department. Because of course, as I watched that flood water go over the roads, the first thing I thought about is, how are we going to clean that up? How are we going to make it passable for those residents? So I texted him and he did provide me an update. I just want to read what he said. There are a couple of drainage issues that need repair. None of them washed out. We were up there until 11 p.m. removing debris from the overflow of the culverts and bridges to reopen the roads. We had more damage 2 nights ago during the first flood, but we made repairs during the day yesterday that held pretty good. I'm sure it will be a rinse and repeat situation going forward. So I'm reading that to you so you to understand all of our departments who are responsible for various parts of our county government are doing what they can. And it's frustrating to know that they go up and do the work and clean out the culverts and they get the mud out and they repair the roads as best they can. And the next night there's another flood. So please bear with us as we patiently work through a situation that, frankly, our road and bridge has dealt with flooding before, but not in this capacity, not from a fire incident. And so I just wanted you to know we are doing what we can to help. I've been on the phone with the SBA, every agency I can think of to call for help and resources. I have been on the phone navigating that. What do we need to do next? How do we get beyond just the state emergency declaration and our county emergency declaration? How do we get a federal one? What is it going to take? Those are all questions we keep asking. And of course, we've not been through this before, but we're learning, and each one of us is taking a piece of this tragedy and trying to figure out how do we navigate it. I feel your frustration, Beulah. My heart breaks for you, Beulah, because I know it's changed your community in ways that I don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to keep trying. And so I just wanted to let you know it's tough for not just me, but for everybody that has worked to help you from DHS on up. Everybody in our organization is heartbroken and we're doing what we can. Just know that we're on your side. We throw our hands up in the air just like you do every time we see a rain cloud. Don't know. So just wanted to communicate that.
Well said, Commissioner. So I was actually up there last night, meeting with the Pine Drive Water District Board. They had a regular meeting and, you know, they of course have a lot of questions about where do we go? Who can help? What do we do? They have a specific ask and a need to have roughly 200,000 gallons of water, potable water that they can run through their system to, sterilize it. So there was a lot of good conversation. I think the big maybe big contribution that I made to them was to let them know they're not alone, right? And that goes for the fire districts, that goes to the water districts, that goes to the towns, school districts. Nobody's going through this alone. The county is doing everything in our power to prepare the package, gather the data, and make the ask on their behalf. So thank you to the Pine Drive Water Board. They've been meeting weekly, and they're going through a lot right now. The fire was one thing, now the floods are another thing, and we are working on getting them help. Specifically, we are working with the USDA on that emergency watershed protection program, of which the county decided to step up and be a sponsor for the program. That means that the USDA will be here. The plan is August 10th through the 14th. They will be in Beulah and Rye, the entire affected area, doing damage assessments, and then they will make specific recommendations on infrastructure upgrades that we can build to hopefully not make this a daily occurrence, right? Right now, everything is just burned up and washed out, and there's really no hope of stopping the flooding. After the USDA comes in, makes their assessments and recommendations, then we can do some much more robust infrastructure projects, and we will be reimbursed about 75, not at about 75. We will be reimbursed 75% for those projects. So like Commissioner said, the help is coming, the help is in progress, but things take time. We have to assemble the right folks. They have to travel here from all over the state and the country. But what we can offer is the network of help. And that's what I kind of tried to reassure them yesterday. We don't have to solve these problems just with the resources that are known to us in our locality. We have the network of folks where we can make them the broader asks of these larger agencies to help us out. So if there are people listening and you need help, keep asking, because we may not have the answer or the dollars, but we can hopefully direct you in the right place to continue getting that support. So thank you to the USDA. We had a really, really constructive meeting after our meeting on Tuesday, and things will be moving forward really well. And I just want to reiterate that USDA watershed program is different than FEMA. FEMA is a question mark as far as recovery dollars. Those USDA dollars, now that we signed up to be a sponsor, they will be guaranteed up to the amount that we're willing to match 25%. So it's a huge benefit for us, and I'm very grateful that they're able to come in and lend their expertise and dollars to getting those infrastructure projects done. I wanted to piggyback on your comments about Road and Bridge. Our Road and Bridge team, they're small but mighty. And I was leaving Beulah. I got stuck there at the mouth of the valley because Squirrel Creek was just running through the fork right there. So the road was blocked up. CDOT was already on scene waiting to clear. But then as I got through that intersection, there was a line of public work trucks, our guys and gals coming up the highway to do the work that you described. So that unfortunately will probably be a regular occurrence, but I hope that Beulah sees we're there, right? As soon as these things happen, we're ready to go. And our Road and Bridge team deserves all the credit in the world for their ability to mobilize and show up. They were literally on the front lines fighting fires. Now they're on the front lines dealing with the flooding. This is not their job description, right? They're not emergency responders, but that is the capacity in which they are acting every single day. So I can't give enough credit to them for always being ready to go. I just really appreciate it. And it was really heartening to see a line of 4 county trucks just cruising up the highway towards the disaster. So thank you to that. Last thing I wanted to highlight was our director of DHS, Ms. Tammy Torres, shared a flyer with us this morning that highlights Colorado Legal Services providing free legal help for those affected by Aspen Acres. So we will get that posted on social media today through our social media channels. Maybe we can get some flyers up to like the Beulah Fire Station, up to Rye, just so that folks know those legal services are there for free should you need family law, housing law, ID issues, or some of the stuff that they help. Insurance policy help is a big one. So those free legal services are available. And thank you to Colorado Legal Services for providing those. I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Well said by both y'all. Yeah, there's so many people that have stepped up during this tragedy, and yeah, Public Works, people may not think that our public work staff is one of those. They should, after everything that we've said from here, and people who have been up there have seen them. I talked to Greg yesterday, and he was saying night before last there was that, and the sheriff on their Facebook page, you can see some of that flooding coming down, but he said it was a 300-foot wide by 10-foot tall wall of water. So yeah, it's going to continue to happen. And it's as we've said up here and said multiple times, this is a very long-term issue for this community on many different fronts. And even when you talk about Pine Drive, they had 70 burned properties, and that's 42% of their customer base. So that's them losing just shy of 28 grand in revenue. So these are ongoing problems. As I brought up on Tuesday, and to your point, we have to get creative and think outside the box and try and bring as many different partners in as possible. Just because the old adage of we've always done it this way does not apply, quite frankly, to this board in a lot of different fronts, but especially with this now. So if we talk about a countywide water district or what these things look like, again, I think that we are stronger when we are together, instead of being siloed. So this board will not stop, pursuing different solutions for all of the issues that have been brought forward by this tragedy, which is again, very, very ongoing. The only other thing that I'll say is this Saturday, yeah, there's the August 1st, there's a grand reopening at the Art Center. And it's called String Stories and a Grand Return of the Jackson's Conference Center. So they'll have music. It starts at 6 p.m. It's $25 per ticket. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, stop by there. We still need to get out and support all of our local organizations, local businesses, everything else like that, because as we've said before, people that have come in from the outside and seen Pueblo have been amazed at our generosity towards one another and our ability to come together during very hard times. So we need to consistently keep that going. Any alibis? Got anything else? Good. All right. Cool. Thank you very much. Our next meeting will be August 4th. I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned.
Just one real quick thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Tammy.
See ya.
Bye, Tommy.